Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole and it's by user InevitableGain340. Am I the a-hole for being upset that my ex-husband didn't take our divorce the way he took his recent breakup? I, 32 female, was married to Cam, 34 male, for 6 years and together for 16 years in total, and we also share a daughter, Mia, 4 female. A bit of background. I was a stay-at-home wife and he worked, but I noticed he was coming home late. He started getting angry a lot, also always on his phone, and to mention I had caught him looking at this girl's Instagram story before, but I didn't think anything of it. Shortly after that, I found out he was cheating on me with Sky, now 19 female. Yeah, barely legal. When I found out, obviously I was hurt, but I was also completely disgusted that he was cheating and willing to ruin our family for her. I became a stay-at-home mother when my daughter was born, and we made an agreement that he was in charge of our money and he would just give me his card to use when and if I needed to buy anything. I wasn't making any income except for the money I had before having our daughter, which I kept in my bank account and I saved it for emergencies. I felt stuck because I didn't know what to do, and for my daughter's sake, I didn't end up leaving. I had got suspicious and I went to look for the girl through his followings on Facebook and Instagram. I ended up finding the girl's story he was looking up Instagram and I just made an assumption that it might have been her and I shot her a DM. Long story short, she was rude as hell. She had zero remorse and kept on telling me to bother my husband who cheated instead of bothering her. She was aware he had a wife and family but didn't care and even told me he was paying her tuition. I ended up getting mad and telling her to stay away from my husband, but she just told me she would keep going and it was just fun. After that, I guess she told my husband and I think he realized that I wasn't leaving. He literally would leave his location on even when he went to her college campus, which really pissed me off because I couldn't see how he was really ruining all we had for some girl who isn't even serious about him and also not even effing legal to drink yet. My daughter Mia attends ballet and they had a performance. This is what really was my breaking point because our child should always come first. He was out all night long that Friday and on Saturday was the recital and obviously he needed to be there for Mia's first recital. I gave him until 11 p.m. Then I finally called him and guess who picked up the phone? Sky. She told me that he was busy and then hung up and that was my breaking point. I quickly picked some of mine and Mia's stuff up and woke her up so we could go to my mom's house, who didn't live far. So we ended up crashing the night there as I didn't want him to come back home to us, nor did I want to see him when I woke up. That was a year ago. Now we're divorced and I have full custody of Mia while he has visitation rights. I got a job, saved up, and now in an apartment, and while it's not the best, it's good for me and Mia for the time being. Anyways, after the divorce, they ended up getting together for a couple of months. While they were together, he was visiting Mia, but not as often. I'd say like twice a month. To nobody's surprise, she ended up leaving him after a couple of months. But this is where I may be the a-hole. Ever since they've broken up, he's been depressed. He drinks a lot, he doesn't eat much, he's always sulking on the couch and just not himself. He comes over more often to see Mia, which is why I know this and I feel away. He's all depressed because she left, but didn't have this energy when we divorced after being together for 16 years. When we divorced, he didn't seem to care at all. He was just nonchalant about it and kept messing around with Sky. But now that this girl you were barely with left you, you're depressed? I know he's going through it, but I can't help but feel a certain way about this. Am I the a-hole for being upset that my ex-husband didn't take our divorce the way he took his recent breakup? This was on my notes first as I was debating to post this here or not since my friend recommended it. It's my first time ever posting or even on Reddit. I just needed somewhere to vent to and advice. Well, OP, I don't think you're the a-hole for feeling this way. I just think it's a futile exercise and a waste of your time and energy. Your ex-husband is a scumbag who checked out of the marriage for this girl, and when you found out, you hung around, so in his mind, he was having everything. But I do understand why you're upset. I mean, after 16 years and building a life with him, he just left you, but now he's all depressed because this girl dumped him? I get it. It's not about wanting him back. It's about realizing he valued a few months with her more than everything you built together. But for your own mental health, I would let him sit in it and ignore it. As long as it doesn't affect your daughter, nothing to see here. And what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section, and now let's check out the community comments. East Membership 606 says, when he started his affair, he was probably high on the fact that he thought he had this young girl desiring him and you would never leave. Then you surprised him by leaving and he probably started smothering the affair partner and expecting her to pick up where you left off. The affair partner acted like a 19-year-old and dumped him to find the next idiot to support her. Now your ex realizes that he blew up his life, yours and your daughter, for an early midlife crisis and is trying to get you to feel sorry for him. Don't let him get to you. What you're seeing is him imploding, desperate for his old life and grasping for straws. If he wants to come over and sulk on your couch under the guise of visiting your daughter, tell him no and say if he wants to visit, he can take your daughter to the park and he needs to be sober. Focus on your life. Outside your kid, he is not your problem anymore. Live It Supermarket 44 says, get him off your effing couch. Don't let him in your house. If he wants to spend time with your daughter, he can organize himself. Don't be a fool and get back with him. He's a loser and you'll be an even bigger loser. Get on with your own life. Make things better for your daughter. And Archduke Toes says, well, yeah, when he was having the affair, he had the attention of 2 women, and then when you left, he had the shiny new girlfriend to fool around with. Now she's predictably gone, and he's realizing what you realized some time ago. That he's ruined a 16-year-old relationship chasing after some 19-year-old who was never really interested in him in the first place. I would say you're not the a-hole though. He upended you and your daughter's life to selfishly chase someone almost half his age, and he's feeling upset about it only now the chickens have come home to roost? I'd be angry and frustrated too, but ultimately, not your monkey, not your circus. Work through it as best you can, establish some boundaries, and don't let him drag you down with him. Additional information from OP's comments. Yeah, I look back now and I'm honestly disappointed in myself for letting him do that to me and my baby. It's hard not to feel ashamed that I stuck around as long as I did, and what's worse, I hate that I still care. I don't want to feel bad for him. I wanted him to suffer. After everything, after 16 years together, it just hurts that he cared more about some other girl than he ever did about me. I wish I could be nonchalant, just brush it off like, that's what he deserves, but I'm not. I'm upset. When I packed up my daughter and left that night, he didn't even flinch. But now that she left him, now he's falling apart. And I can't stop asking myself, why wasn't I worth that kind of heartbreak? I've already decided I'm going to make some changes so he doesn't need to be over here so much. And I swear, I'm not trying to be in his business. He tells me this stuff. I don't know if it's to spite me or if he genuinely needs someone to vent to. Either way, it's not fair. And let me be clear, I'm not taking him back. That ship has sailed. It's just hard. 16 years is a long time to give someone. And to see him like this, broken over someone else, it stings in a way I can't fully explain. But I do feel bad because as much as I try not to, I can see he's not doing well. And yeah, the dumbass actually offered to pay her tuition. I don't even know exactly when the affair started. I really hope it was when she turned 18, but she clearly never cared about him. She was still messing around with guys from her campus while he was at home throwing fits over it. I think that's why he offered her money, to keep her around. But again, just so we're clear, I'm not sleeping with him, I'm not getting back with him, and I'm all good health-wise. I'm just hurt. Hurt that after 16 years, I still wasn't enough for him to care like this. So the community says OP is not the a-hole and that it shouldn't be her problem what happens to this guy now. So now, let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. I'm so overwhelmed right now. I didn't expect this to escalate so quickly, but it did. First, I want to thank everybody who gave me advice. I really appreciate it all. I'm sorry it took long to reply to comments, but I had a busy morning, especially with a 4-year-old who attends preschool and also hates getting up in the morning. A bit of background about their relationship, at least the stuff I know. The divorce happened last year, so at the time Sky was 18. I clarified this in the comments, but I'm gonna say it again. Cam was the one who offered Sky to pay her tuition, and I think he did that to keep her around. After I found out about the divorce, he would come home angry and would call her names and was mad because she was seeing other guys in college and posting herself going to parties. I don't know how long their affair was, all I know is how they met. At least this is what he told me. Cam told me that they met at a club and he thought Sky was older, but then she later told him it was a fake ID. Now, I don't believe he thought that one bit. Sky screams teenager. I could tell by just one peek at her Instagram. She looks super young, she dresses like a teenager, she has braces with a very youthful face, and she types and acts just like her age. Cam has visitation rights and he comes over to see Mia, which I am gonna make arrangements to change that. When he comes over, you could just feel the negative energy coming in with him by his attitude and the way he looks. While Mia is occupied, that's when he vents to me about Sky, which I don't know why the hell he does. I will admit I'm stupid as I don't say anything, I just let him talk. I pretty much ignore him when he's here, like he doesn't exist, while he would just vent randomly. But let me tell you guys what just happened, and I'm literally so pissed. My baby gets out of preschool at 2:30. Usually my mom would pick her up, but I got to leave early, and her ballet practice is at 4. While during the ballet practice, you could either leave your kid there or you can stay in the practice with them. One of my closest girlfriend's daughter also attends the class and I needed to get groceries for our meals. So, with her permission, I left out for a bit. My guess is that Cam gave Sky my number because I genuinely don't see how else she could get it. Anyways, long story short, she has read it and she came across my post and was pissed about it. Guys, no joke. This little girl and her friends were spamming my phone with calls. She would call me and say horrible things, and then next I would get another call from somebody else who would say other stuff. This happened about 7 times. The first 2 times, admittedly, I went back and forth, but as it kept going, I finally got the hint they were playing with my phone, so I allegedly started recording and just let them yell and insult me. I knew they were all together because when Sky called first, I could hear other girls giggling or saying slick crap in the background. I allegedly didn't get the whole thing on recording because it came out of the blue, so I only got the last few. Now I'm thinking of filing a harassment report about this. But still, I blocked them all and threatened to call the cops the last time, and they stopped. But seriously, this is childish as F, and I'm definitely taking her to the police and gonna hopefully try and see if I could find her parents. One of my girlfriends is super good at finding people through social media, so I'll definitely send her to look for Sky's parents. I'd love to message her, but she's the type to go back and forth. She literally just hurls insults. As I mentioned, she's 19 and she sure does act like it. Constipated emoji. OP's edit. Forgot to mention that these aren't the real names. It's just close to all our names and all of our correct ages, so I think that's how she figured it was me. Well, it'll be good to know that you're gonna take measures regarding your husband visiting your daughter outside of your home so you don't have to deal with it. And regarding taking Sky to the police, I'm not sure you could do that for them calling and insulting you. Maybe you should go to a lawyer and check that out. But the biggest issue with your husband, at least that's done. So here's wishing you the best, OP. Thanks for sharing and take care. And now let's move on to the next post that also has an update. This post is from the subreddit Petty Revenge and it's by user Diligent Cheerio 902. I didn't seek this revenge, you asked for it. So, like the title says, I only gave him what he asked for, and it was definitely petty. So, I was married to a very manly man for 17 years. I ended up doing all the admin tasks and mental load tasks. He had a money-earning job and I did everything else. Even schedule this man's dental appointments and buy his parents' birthday cards. At first it was fine, but eventually not so much, and he refused to change, so things came to a head and ended. I'm sure after I left, he was unpleasantly surprised to discover how much work his assistant did. Anyways, it's been 5 years, we have our own lives, and I don't think about him much, and we certainly don't talk. But one day, I start getting calls from him. He explains to me that he never removed me from his home and auto insurance and says they won't remove you unless you call. He is pissy and keeps calling me and saying I have to do this right away and being very rude. It's been 5 years and now it's an emergency? Okay. He ends up calling me every day for a week and saying I've created a problem for him. What? I called the company and the woman on the phone says, "No, we totally would have removed you. He never asked. I can see there is no record of him calling ever." Oh, really? She then says, "You know, moving him from married to a single man, this is going to raise his rate considerably. Is he sure this is important to him?" I laughed. Oh yes, very important. In fact, I haven't lived there for 5 years, so his current policy should really be backdated. She laughs and says he's now going to get a large bill. Not my problem anymore. Opie's edit. He's 39 until September and we got together when he was 18. And yes, we've actually only been separated 4.7 years, so y'all can stop being confused by the math. Also, since apparently this matters to people, I'm assuming the agent meant for the current contract and policy, which means just this year. I honestly didn't ask because I don't really care and that wasn't why I called them. And yes, he is under 40, so I think maybe that affects it, but again, I didn't ask. I don't spend a lot of brain power on this guy anymore. I don't think people are probably right about him having a new girl that was upset, lol. Well, P, he's the one that chased you for a week to change this because you created a problem for him. So now you're just solving the whole problem and any problem prior to that. In any case, the story's not over yet because we do have that update. Let's move on with that. So, y'all were right. It never occurred to me that he'd be suddenly concerned my name was on the Progressive car home insurance bill because of a new girl, but that was absolutely why. I have full legal and physical custody of the kids and he doesn't have anything to do with them. His choice. But our son recently had a minor surgery and of course, insurance has been giving us the runaround even after pre-approving the procedure. Thanks United, great job! He's the primary insurance holder due to his job, so I can only do so much. So I had to call him and ask him to call them even though I already did the paperwork. Being a grown-up is so awesome, by the way. Normally, he told me to just use his signature and information because he can't be bothered, but I can't do a man's voice. And yes, everyone who thought I probably know his social and stuff, I absolutely do, plus his parents' birthdays, etc. He doesn't even remember his own kids' birthdays. When we were on the phone, he suddenly started ranting about how expensive everything is, how he's so broke because he bought a brand new car and then suddenly had a pipe burst and it cost him a fortune to fix the kitchen wall and floor and part of the garage. So that tells me he needed to access the insurance. But then he starts telling me how awesome his new girl is because she stepped up and put money into the house. The house, he now tells me she lives in rent-free. I don't know, pitching in that case seems like the least someone could do, but okay, not my business. I just don't really know why he thinks I'll be a sympathetic ear to the situation. I roll. I was like, yeah, okay, well, text me when you've called United so I can call the hospital back. Bye. I don't have a lot of sympathy because this man makes over $120,000 per year and pays $20,000 of that in child support for 3 kids he hasn't seen in a year. And he's too busy going on vacations to even call or text them, so I don't really give a crap if his pipe bursts. I hope new younger model woman gave him an earful for still having my name on everything, and I hope Progressive sends him a huge bill on that brand new car. Huh. This situation really brought out the pissy in me. Laughing emoji. Oh well. Well, OP, the subreddit is called Petty Revenge, so you're in the right place. And I'm really sorry for your kids to have a dad that doesn't even see him in a year and barely calls them. He sucks. So again, good for you. Thanks for sharing, OP, and take care. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out. So here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later. And also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.